Drova. Forsaken Kin is a $25 2D action RPG that basically asks, what if we took the brutal, unforgiving progression of Gothic 1 and mashed it up with the pixel art style of Graveyard Keeper? You are thrown into a grim, handcrafted open world, steeped in Celtic mythology, and you start out as absolute garbage. You are a weak outsider. You do not get an easy tutorial. You have to survive a hostile society filled with restless spirits and divided factions battling for dominance. The entire hook here is that zero to hero arc. You claw your way from barely surviving basic encounters to confidently navigating a highly dangerous landscape. You explore, you trade, and you take sides in a massive conflict. The developers at Just2D essentially built a modern homage to late 80s computer games, giving you total freedom to do whatever you want, provided you are strong enough to survive the consequences. The core loop revolves around punishing Souls-like exploration and combat. You step into this world, and the game actively refuses to hold your hand. There are no blowing trails leading you to your next objective. You actually have to read dialogue and figure out where things are. You will wander into areas, realize the monster design is way above your pay grade, and get completely destroyed. The early game is notoriously punishing. You survive by gathering equipment, trading with merchants, and picking off weaker enemies to build your stats. Character customization heavily dictates your survival. You spec into specific stats, and you absolutely need to plan your build because the combat requires patience. You swing, you dodge, you manage stamina. It heavily references classic Elder Scrolls games, where your only real limit is your own power level. If you see a high level area, you can technically go there, but you will die unless you have mastered the combat mechanics. You unlock forgotten abilities by exploring ruins. Some people even run an insane hardcore mode, clearing the whole map in about 6.5 hours once they memorize enemy patterns and item locations. Look, YouTube is full of 20-minute rambling reviews. If you appreciate short, honest ones like this, hit subscribe. It genuinely helps. Alright, let's keep going. Progression ties directly into a rigid faction system. You cannot just be friends with everyone. You eventually reach a massive branching point at the Colosseum and the local mine, where you have to permanently align with a faction. That choice locks in your alliances and dictates which tasks you receive. You fulfill bounties and do fetch quests for your chosen side to earn better gear. Alongside factions, you have the magic system, which is incredibly restrictive. You do not start as a powerful mage. Magic is introduced very late in the plot. The developer actually just dropped patch 1.3 specifically to add new spell locations because the magic progression was so starved. You combine all of this, faction loyalty, strict character building, and delayed magic into a 45-hour campaign where you genuinely feel lost in the woods. The background music perfectly sells that isolated, grim atmosphere while you hunt down ancient spirits. Now, the absolute refusal to hold your hand causes real friction. Because you have to manually find quest locations and characters, you end up doing a lot of aimless wandering. It gets incredibly tedious trying to locate one specific NPC in a massive 2D map just to turn in a fetch quest. The visuals actively fight you here too. The pixel art severely lacks visual clarity. The effort put into drawing environmental objects is on the lower end, meaning you will struggle to distinguish a path from a solid wall. Then you have the writing. The early world building hooks you, but the later dialogue falls completely apart. The narrative drops in quality so fast that the late game text feels completely disconnected from the strong opening hours. This is a $25 time machine for a very specific type of player. If you want an accessible, modern action game, you will hate this. But if you have the patience for a punishing, old-school RPG where you have to earn every single level and thoroughly explore a hostile Celtic world, you will easily sink 60 hours into this map. They are even porting it to Android soon. If this helped, drop a like and subscribe. See you in the next one.